In today's video, we explain how high we can build future skyscrapers. Did you know that there are plans to build a building taller than Mount Everest that could hold 30 million people? And did you also know that we're giving away $1,000 to one of our subscribers? So hit this subscribe button right in the face. Number 5. Exceed 4000. The idea for the Exceed 4000 skyscraper was developed in 1995 by Taisei to create more housing in Japan in an innovative way. At 4 kilometers or 2.5 miles, it would be taller than Mount Fuji. The goal is to create a city with shopping centers and grocery stores in buildings that residents never have to leave. The skyscraper will provide enough living space for up to 1 million people. The project is also expected to inspire others to build more unconventional skyscrapers based on clean energy. The Taisei company plans to run the tower entirely on solar power, although they're not quite sure how to get that much electricity. To accommodate the expansive foundation required for such a building, the architects envision that the skyscraper would have to sit on the Pacific Ring of Fire. When completed, Exceed 4000 will be by far the tallest skyscraper in the world, and at $900 billion, the most expensive. Some estimates put the construction cost even higher, at up to $1.7 trillion. The building will be made of 3 million tons of steel, enough to build 300 Eiffel Towers. Exactly how long it will take for the Exceed 4000 to become a reality is unclear, as the architect does not yet believe a project of this magnitude is possible. Although it was rumored back in 2007 that Taisei Corporation was already working on the construction of the Exceed 4000, the company confirmed that there were still some issues to be resolved before embarking on a project of this scale. Number 4. Burj Khalifa. Let's take as a reference the current tallest skyscraper in the world, located in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. The Burj Khalifa stands at 828 meters, or just over 2,720 feet. Construction began in 2004 in hopes of bringing more tourism to the country. The $1.5 billion skyscraper is used primarily for residential purposes, including hotel rooms, but the building has many other uses. It has one of the world's highest observation decks and the second largest ornate fountain outside its entrance. After 5 years of construction, the skyscraper was completed in 2009 and officially opened to the public in 2010. It would be very difficult to build skyscrapers taller than today. Most countries have height restrictions on their buildings imposed by the government. In addition, there must be enough flat land as well as sufficient funds to build a new tower from scratch. But while construction of the Jeddah Tower is underway, the world will soon see a new super-tall skyscraper. Jeddah Tower could become the first 1 km tall skyscraper. While that sounds like a lot, the tower is still small compared to some of the skyscrapers we'll cover later in this video. Unfortunately, some major problems arose during the construction process. The project was halted in 2017 after some of the building's main investors, including Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, were imprisoned by the Saudi Arabian government over a major corruption scandal. Several months later, when the investor was fired, the problems at the top still remained. Vertical transportation to such heights is limited. In addition, the architects are still working on the design and collecting materials so that the building does not sway in the wind. The super-tall tower currently challenges the Burj Khalifa, but taller and taller skyscrapers are yet to come. Number 3. Space elevator. This last concept has been in the works since Russian scientist Konstantin Tsiolkovsky had the idea of a space elevator in 1895. He envisioned a tower nearly 35,800 kilometers high. At the time, there were no materials capable of generating enough pressurized energy for such a project. Since the 20th century, others interested in developing space elevators have focused on train structures. A number of different companies are striving to be the first to successfully implement their vision for the project, but all have basically the same element in their concept. The elevator will contain a cable that will reach the top of the Earth's atmosphere, asteroid-like balancer, and climber ready to climb along the cable. Problems remain in determining what material is strong enough to use, with some pointing to diamond nanowires as a possible source. Others advocate graphene, a carbon-based material that can withstand the stress of cables. Completing the project was not easy, as scientists had to consider many different factors. Space debris could damage the elevators, and it could be difficult to find enough material to build an elevator that high. The project comes with a number of technical complexities, including a $10 billion price tag. However, physicists at Shizuoka University in Japan are already conducting experiments to understand how elevators work on a much smaller scale. Apparently, Tokyo-based Obayashi believes it can complete the space elevator by 2050. Some claim that if Chinese developers challenge them to have elevators ready by 2045, they could do better. What do you think of these super tall skyscrapers? Do you want to take a space elevator? If you haven't yet, let us know in the comment section below. Click the like button and subscribe to our channel. Number 2. Tokyo Tower of Babel. Another city under skyscrapers. The concept of Tokyo Babel Tower was born in 1992. It was originally proposed by Toshio Ojima's lab at the Global Environment Summit in Brazil. With a height of 10 kilometers or 33,000 feet at Cedar University, it is even higher than Mount Everest and even higher than an average airplane, which means that skyscrapers are not only the tallest towers, but also the tallest objects on Earth. Yes, to build such a tall tower, architects needed an area of about 4,100 square kilometers. That would be more than twice as much as Houston, Texas. When completed, the building will be large enough to house 30 million people. When construction was planned, the Japanese economy had collapsed so completely that the building never appeared. While the country has recovered, it looks like the project will be too expensive to become a reality. The Tower of Babel in Tokyo cost about $306 trillion to build and would take 150 years to complete. Number 1. The Launch Loop. Our next concept shows that the sky may not be the limit when it comes to the architecture of the future. Launch loops were first mentioned in 1981 in the NASA newsletter by Keith Lofstrom. The loop consists of a series of wires connected to ground. It will carry objects into space via a maglev system similar to that currently operated by high-speed trains in Shanghai. To get above the atmosphere and back, it would have to be 2,000 kilometers or 1,240 meters long with a maximum altitude of 80 kilometers. That's 8 times higher than where the plane flies. If successful, it could send vehicles into space without a rocket, paving the way for space tourism and exploration. Those lucky enough to ride the loop will travel at 14 kilometers per second. Before the loop becomes a reality, scientists still have to do something that would cost about $10 billion for just 1 year, and the technology to create the launch loop is still under development. The maglev system needed for the project will be difficult to create. In addition, researchers had to find an area to place the launch loop that was not very populated before construction could begin. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, we're giving away $1,000 to one of our subscribers.